Picture this. I'm standing in front of my bathroom mirror, the faint hum of the heater kicking on in the background as I tug my dark hair into a messy bun that's more mess than bun. I catch my own reflection. Average height, a frame that's lean and toned from relentless gym sessions, and eyes that carry the weight of a long day. I'm Natalie, 35 years old, living what most would call a perfectly normal life in a quiet suburban neighborhood just outside the city. My days are a blur of routine, a carefully choreographed dance of chaos and calm. Mornings start with me stumbling out of bed, one hand clutching a steaming mug of coffee, while the other fumbles with my laptop, already mentally drafting emails for my marketing job. It's demanding work, the kind that keeps me on edge, always chasing deadlines and client approvals. By the time evening rolls around, I'm drained, collapsing onto the couch in our cozy modern home, surrounded by the minimalist decor that screams order and control. This house, with its clean lines and neutral tones, isn't really my style, it's Owen's. My husband, Owen, is 38, a software engineer who seems to have mastered the art of keeping everything in its place, including himself. He's tall, with neatly cropped brown hair and piercing blue eyes that seem to see right through you, though they rarely betray what he's thinking. His voice is quiet, steady, the kind that never spikes with anger or excitement, no matter the situation. When we first met, I found that calmness intoxicating. After years of dating men who hovered over me with jealousy, who demanded to know every detail of my day, Owen was a breath of fresh air. He never asks where I've been when I come home late from a work event. He doesn't glance at my phone when it buzzes on the counter. At first, I thought, this is trust. This is what a healthy relationship looks like. I'd watch him sitting at the kitchen table, methodically sipping his black coffee, and feel this wave of gratitude for his lack of curiosity, his unshakable composure. But lately, I've started to wonder if there's something beneath that calm exterior, something I can't quite name. It's not anything obvious, no arguments, no red flags waving in my face. It's more like a whisper in the back of my mind, a nagging sense that his stillness isn't just restraint, but maybe a mask for something deeper. I've caught myself studying him when he's not looking, trying to decipher the way he moves through our home with such precision, like every step is calculated. The way he arranges his desk, every pen and paper in perfect alignment, mirrors the way he seems to arrange his emotions, tidy, contained, inaccessible. I tell myself I'm overthinking it. After all, isn't this what I wanted? A partner who gives me space, who doesn't suffocate me with questions? Still, there's this tiny knot of unease in my chest, a knot that tightens just a little as I grab my gym bag from the hook by the door and head out into the cool evening air. I need this escape, this hour or two where I can focus on nothing but the rhythm of my own body, pushing past the mental clutter of the day. My old sedan sits in the driveway, a reliable beast with chipped paint and a dashboard that's seen better days. I slide into the driver's seat, the familiar creak of the leather greeting me as I turn the key. The engine sputters to life, and I flick on the radio. A catchy pop song blasting through the speakers, one of those overplayed hits I can't help but hum along to. The streetlights flicker past as I drive through the quiet suburban maze, their golden glow casting long shadows on the pavement. It's a short trip to the gym, just 10 minutes, but it feels like a mini journey, a transition from the stillness of home to the controlled chaos of iron and sweat. I pull into the parking lot of Power Pulse Gym, the neon sign buzzing faintly above the entrance. The place is packed, as it always is on a weeknight, cars squeezed into every available spot. I find a space near the back, grab my bag, and head inside, the automatic doors sliding open with a soft whoosh. The air hits me immediately, thick with the scent of sweat, rubber mats, and a hint of disinfectant. The hum of treadmills and the rhythmic clank of weights fill the space. A symphony of effort. I swipe my membership card at the front desk, nodding to the bored-looking attendant, and make my way to the cardio area. My routine is second nature by now. 30 minutes on the elliptical to get my heart pumping, followed by a solid session of weight training. I step onto the machine, adjust the resistance, and start moving, my sneakers thudding softly against the pedals. The burn creeps into my legs within minutes, a slow, satisfying ache that tells me I'm alive, that I'm pushing myself. Sweat beads on my forehead, trickling down as I zone out, staring at the TV mounted on the wall playing some mindless reality show. My mind empties, the stress of work and that lingering unease about Owen fading into the background. After the elliptical, I head to the weight room, grabbing a set of dumbbells and settling into a series of squats and lunges. My muscles protest with every rep, a deep, fiery burn spreading through my thighs and arms, but I grit my teeth and keep going. There's something almost meditative about it, the repetition, the focus. I catch my reflection in the mirrored wall, flushed cheeks, determined eyes, strands of hair escaping my bun and sticking to my neck. I feel strong, capable, like I can handle anything. Across the room, I spot Tara, my gym buddy, jogging steadily on a treadmill. Her blonde ponytail bounces with every step, and she catches my eye, flashing a quick wave and a bright smile. I wave back, finishing my set with a grunt of effort before wiping the sweat from my brow with the back of my hand. My body's buzzing with endorphins, that post-workout high that makes everything feel a little sharper, a little more alive. I decide to cool down with a quick stretch, then head to the locker room to grab a shower before driving home. The gym's locker area is quieter than the main floor, the muffled sounds of weights and treadmills fading into a distant hum as I push through the door. I toss my bag onto a bench, peel off my damp workout gear, and wrap a towel around myself, the rough fabric scratching against my skin. The air in here is cooler, a stark contrast to the heat still radiating from my muscles, and I can feel the tension of the day slowly unwinding as I pad barefoot toward the showers. I step into one of the stalls, the tiled walls slick with condensation, and twist the knob until hot water cascades over me, steam rising in thick, swirling clouds. The heat is almost too much at first, stinging my skin, but I lean into it, letting it wash away the sweat and the lingering thoughts of work deadlines and Owen's unreadable calm. The sound of the water is a steady roar in my ears, drowning out everything else, and I close my eyes, tilting my head back as the stream pounds against my shoulders. That's when I hear it, a faint creak, barely audible over the rush of the shower. My eyes snap open, and I freeze, a prickle of unease crawling up my spine. I tell myself it's nothing, just the old pipes or someone in the next stall, but then I hear it again, closer this time, unmistakable. The slow, deliberate groan of the stall door opening. I turn my head, water dripping into my eyes, and there he is. A man steps into the confined space, uninvited, his silhouette blurred by the steam at first, but sharpening as he moves closer. He's tall, easily over 6 feet, with broad shoulders that seem to fill the small stall. His jaw is chiseled, sharp enough to cut glass, and his eyes, God, those eyes, are intense, unreadable, boring into mine with a force that pins me in place. His dark hair is damp, clinging to his forehead, and there's a faint shadow of stubble along his face, giving him a rugged edge. He's wearing nothing but a towel slung low around his hips, and there's a quiet confidence in the way he stands, like he owns the space, like he owns the moment. He doesn't say a word, doesn't even flinch, just locks eyes with me, and I feel this jolt. Shock, yes, but something else too. Fear, maybe, but it's tangled up with a pull I can't explain, a thrill that surges through me, electric and dangerous. My heart slams against my ribs, so loud I'm sure he can hear it over the water, But I don't move. I don't scream or push him away. Instead, I stand there, frozen, caught in the intensity of his gaze, the steam wrapping around us like a cocoon. I should be outraged, should demand to know who he is, what he's doing here, but the words don't come. There's this raw, reckless energy crackling between us, and I feel it pulling me under, drowning out every rational thought. My breath hitches as he takes a step closer, the heat of his presence mingling with the heat of the water, and I realize with a start that I'm not resisting. I'm not even trying to. Instead, I let the moment unfold, let it sweep me away like a tidal wave I can't fight. I'm not proud of what happened next, but I'm not going to lie to you either. In that shower stall, under the dim, flickering light and the endless rush of hot water, I cheated on Owen. With a stranger whose face I could barely make out through the haze of steam, whose name I didn't even ask. It was impulsive, wild, a kind of abandon I hadn't felt in years, maybe ever. The sound of the water masked everything, a constant roar that swallowed any chance of I wake up the next morning, the weight of last night pressing down on me like a heavy fog I can't shake. The early light filters through the bedroom curtains, casting thin, golden streaks across the floor, illuminating the quiet space that feels anything but peaceful. I'm still in bed, tangled in the sheets, my body heavy with a mix of exhaustion and something darker. Guilt, maybe, or fear of what I've done. The familiar scent of Owen's cologne lingers in the air, a subtle reminder of his presence, even though he's not beside me. I can hear faint sounds from the kitchen, the soft clatter of a pan, the low hum of the coffee maker. He's already up, moving through his morning routine with that same methodical precision I've come to know so well. But today, that sound doesn't comfort me. It only tightens the knot in my chest, making every breath feel a little harder. I lie there for a long moment, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing with the memory of what happened in that gym shower. The steam, the stranger's piercing gaze, the way I let myself get swept away in a moment of reckless abandon. It all plays on a loop, vivid and unrelenting. My hands tremble slightly under the covers, a subtle shake I can't control, and my stomach churns with a nauseating mix of regret and dread. Should I tell Owen? The thought alone makes my throat tighten. How could I even begin to explain something like this? But keeping it buried feels just as suffocating, like I'm trapping myself in a lie that's only going to grow heavier with each passing day. I squeeze my eyes shut, trying to push the decision away, but it clings to me, stubborn and unyielding, refusing to let me rest. Finally, I force myself to sit up, the mattress creaking softly under my weight. I smooth the sheets with unsteady hands, a mindless attempt to impose some order on the chaos swirling inside me. That's when I see it. A small, folded piece of paper on my nightstand, tucked neatly beside the lamp. My breath catches in my throat, sharp and sudden, as I recognize Owen's precise handwriting scrawled across the front. Just my name, Natalie. Written in that careful, deliberate way of his, each letter perfectly formed. My heart stumbles over itself, a frantic rhythm that I can feel in my fingertips. What is this? Why is it here? A cold wave of dread creeps up my spine, settling into my bones as I stare at the note. Unable to move. Unable to reach for it just yet. It's such a small thing, just a scrap of paper, but it feels like a grenade waiting to detonate. Like whatever's inside could shatter the fragile balance I've been clinging to. I hesitate, my hand hovering over the note, my mind spinning with possibilities. Does he know? Has he somehow figured out what I did last night? Or is this about something else entirely? Something I haven't even considered? Owen's always been so composed, so unreadable. Could this be the moment where that mask slips? Where I finally see what's been hiding beneath all that calm? My fingers brush against the edge of the paper, and I notice how rough it feels, slightly worn, as if it's been folded and unfolded before being placed here. The texture grounds me for a split second, but then my nerves take over again, and I fumble as I pick it up, nearly dropping it in my haste. My hands aren't just trembling now. They're shaking outright, betraying every ounce of anxiety coursing through me. I unfold it slowly, deliberately, as if delaying the inevitable will somehow lessen the impact of whatever I'm about to read. The creases in the paper resist at first, and I can hear the faint crinkle of it under my touch, a sound that seems deafening in the stillness of the room. Before I let my eyes drop to the words, I glance toward the bedroom door, half expecting to see Owen standing there, watching me with those piercing blue eyes of his. But the doorway is empty, and from the kitchen, I hear the clink of a coffee mug being set down on the counter, a sound so ordinary yet so jarring in this moment of suspended dread. I swallow hard, my throat dry as sandpaper, and finally let my gaze fall to the note in my hands. The words are written in Owen's meticulous script, each letter a tiny, deliberate stroke, and as I read them aloud to myself, my voice trembles, barely above a whisper. I like it when you choose. But this time, I chose. The sentence hangs in the air, heavy and cryptic, like a riddle I'm not sure I want to solve. My mind stumbles over itself, a wave of confusion crashing over me, followed by a sharp, icy shock that prickles at the back of my neck. What does this mean? What is he talking about? My hands shake even more now, the paper quivering between my fingers as if it's alive with some dark energy. I read the words again, slower this time, my lips moving silently, trying to wring some hidden meaning from them. I like it when you choose. But this time, I chose each syllable feels like a punch, knocking the air from my lungs, leaving my breath shallow and ragged. I can feel my pulse hammering in my ears, a frantic drumbeat that drowns out the distant sounds of Owen in the kitchen. My chest tightens, and I press a hand to it, as if I can physically hold myself together, while my thoughts spiral out of control. I reread the note a third time, then a fourth, my eyes scanning the same 10 words over and over, searching for clarity that refuses to come. And then, like a slow, creeping fog, a realization begins to form, chilling me to the bone. Owen knows. He knows about what happened in that gym shower, about the stranger, about my betrayal. But it's more than that. There's something in the way he phrased it, this time I chose, that twists the knife deeper. It's not just that he's aware, it's that he's implying he had a hand in it, that he somehow wanted this to happen. My stomach lurches at the thought, a sickening mix of disbelief and horror churning inside me. How could he know? How could he have possibly orchestrated something so intimate, so reckless? My mind races back to last night, to the stranger's intense gaze, the way he stepped into that stall with such unshakable confidence. Was that not random? Was he there because of Owen? I sit there, frozen on the edge of the bed, the note still clutched in my trembling hands, as memories of Owen's behavior over the years flood my mind. I think about his eerie calmness, the way he's never once questioned me, no matter how late I came home or how distracted I seemed. I used to see it as trust, as a sign of his strength, but now it feels different, sinister almost. What if it was never indifference? What if it was control, a quiet, calculated kind of power I didn't even realize I was under? I remember the countless times I'd catch him watching me, not with suspicion, but with this unreadable intensity, like he was studying me, waiting for something. Was this what he was waiting for? A game I didn't even know I was playing, where he set the rules and I stumbled blindly through them? My breath hitches as the pieces start to click together, each one more unsettling than the last. The stranger in the shower, those piercing eyes, that commanding presence. Could he have been someone Owen knew, someone he sent? The thought sends a shiver down my spine, cold and sharp, and I feel the room tilt slightly, like the ground beneath me isn't as solid as it should be. I've always thought of Owen as predictable, safe in his routines, but now I see those routines in a new light. The way he organizes everything, down to the smallest detail, the way he moves through life with such precision. Maybe that wasn't just about order. Maybe it was about manipulation, about weaving a web so subtle I didn't notice until I was already trapped. I stare down at the note again, the words blurring as my vision swims with unshed tears, not of sadness, but of a raw, unfiltered fear mixed with a strange, almost magnetic pull I can't shake. I fold the note back up, the paper crinkling under my fingers, and clutch it tightly, as if holding on to it might anchor me against the storm of thoughts raging in my head. My legs feel unsteady, but I force myself to stand, the cool hardwood floor grounding me for just a moment as I take a deep breath. I need to see him. I need to look into his eyes and figure out if I'm imagining this, if I'm spiraling into paranoia, or if there's really something dark lurking behind that calm facade. So I slip on a pair of socks, the fabric soft against my skin, and pad quietly out of the bedroom, the note still gripped in my hand like a lifeline. Or a weapon, I'm not sure which. The hallway feels longer than usual, each step heavy with anticipation, the faint scent of brewed coffee growing stronger as I near the kitchen. My heart is a wild thing in my chest, pounding so hard I'm half convinced Owen will hear it before I even reach him. I pause just before the doorway, my fingers tightening around the folded paper, and take one last steadying breath, though it does little to calm the tremor in my hands. Then I step into the kitchen, and there he is. Owen. He's standing by the counter, casual as ever in a gray sweater that hugs his frame just right, the sleeves pushed up to his elbows. He's sipping coffee from a plain white mug, the steam curling lazily in the air. And when he hears me enter, he turns. Those piercing blue eyes meet mine, and I swear there's something unreadable in them, a depth I've never fully understood until now. His expression doesn't shift. No surprise, no anger, just that steady, impenetrable calm that's always defined him. But I'm looking for cracks, for anything that might betray what he's thinking, what he knows. I force a small smile, though it feels brittle on my lips, and mumble a good morning as I shuffle toward the table, the note still hidden in my clenched fist. I don't know how to start, don't know if I even want to, but I can't just stand here in silence. So I test the waters, keeping my voice light, almost too casual, as I ask how his night was. I watch him closely, my eyes darting over every inch of his face for a tell, a twitch, anything. He sets the mug down on the counter with a soft clink, the sound sharp in the quiet room, and replies in that same even tone I've heard 1,000 times. Uneventful, he says, the word rolling off his tongue with no hint of strain, no hesitation. But then I see it. A faint smirk, just a flicker at the corner of his mouth, gone almost as soon as it appears. And in his gaze, there's a glint, something knowing, something that sends a shiver skittering down my spine. It's not proof, not really, but it's enough to make my stomach twist, to make me question everything I thought I knew about this man I've shared my life with. I slide into a chair at the kitchen table, the wood cool against my palms as I rest my hands on it, the note still tucked out of sight. Owen doesn't move to join me. He stays by the counter, leaning against it with an ease that feels almost performative now. The silence stretches between us, heavy and thick, laden with questions I'm not ready to voice and answers I'm not sure I want to hear. I can feel the weight of his stare, even when I'm not looking at him, like a physical thing pressing against me, probing for weaknesses. My mind is a tangled mess, split between the horror of what his note implied and this inexplicable draw I feel, this curiosity about the game he might be playing. Part of me wants to scream, to demand an explanation for those cryptic words, to know how much of my life he's been orchestrating behind the scenes. But another part, a quieter, more dangerous part, is intrigued, almost captivated by the idea of stepping into this unknown, of matching wits with a master puppeteer who might just hold the key to unraveling the mysteries that have shadowed my life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.